Hi everybody, this is Barry from Knitting for Love, and today's video is cables. Now, as you can tell, I have already started a swatch of cables just to demonstrate the different things you can do with these cables. I also have a sample sitting aside to show you, which is also a cabled work, which is a traveling cable, which I will make another video on how to make these travel cables. Because these cables are literally going, twisting, and then keep on going, and then twisting again, and then keep on going. And as you can tell, there's a nice tight rope cable here, and here on the ends of this work. And that is appeared here. Now these are what I like to call 2x2 cables, because you're switching 2 stitches, crossing over each other. So that's 2 stitches by 2 stitches. You can do 3, 4, 5 stitches by 5 stitches. You can make your cable as big as you can twist it. And it does become a little bit tricky the bigger they become. And I will have another video demonstrating the really big cable stitches, the 5x5. But these are 2x2, and these are the more common cable stitches that you will come across in most patterns. And I've also shown here where this is the standard size, where you're knitting one row as a setup row, you're purling another row, and then you're twisting, and then you're knitting a row and purling a row, and then twisting. So this one, this stitch here, you're never going to knit across the same way you do here. Every time you come to the knit stitch here, you're going to twist these stitches. And this is what gives it that more tighter definition of a rope. And these are more like a cable. Now both of these are facing in 2 different directions, and I will show you how to do that, because this is a matter of preference, whether you want this cable to twist to the left or do you want it to twist to the right. It's all up to you. It's all up to the pattern you're using, and you know, it just depends on the person who's designing the pattern. I also used 2 purl stitches to give more definition to the cable stitches. You can do 1 purl stitch, or you can do no purl stitch. It's up to you. No purl stitch will kind of make your work really tight when it comes down to the cable, so it's going to squeeze it. So we want some stretch. And when you put the purls in between, it gives it something else to look at. So the first thing you're going to see is, ooh, nice cables. You're not really paying attention to this because it's like a background. It's like it's like a backdrop for the main event, which is the cable stitches here. So let's get started. You're going to need a cable needle. You can use another knitting needle. If you have a double pointed knitting needle, you can use a regular straight needle if you want to. I lose cable needles, so you don't really need an actual cable needle. I buy them and I lose them. They're not expensive. They come in a package of 3 or 4 for about $4. But again, I lose them faster than I lose knitting needles. So basically I just use what I have on hand. So what you're going to do, and let's demonstrate these stitches for you, is I've got 2 purl stitches before my cable. So I'm just going to purl those 2. And now comes the fun part. This is, since every time I come to this side of my work on this particular type of cable, I'm never going to knit these 4 stitches straight across. I'm always going to take, and again, you can choose which way you want your twist. These twists are to the left. You can also do them to the right. To do them to the left, you're going to take these first 2 stitches off your hook. And this is the reason why I call it a 2x2 twist cable, because you're taking 2 stitches here and 2 stitches here, and you're literally twisting them. I like to poke it here. But if you are wanted to go to the right, you're going to have it hang behind and knit these 2 stitches, and that will cause a right twist. This is going to cause a left twist. So let's keep in pattern. So let's knit those 2 stitches, the next 2 stitches, And now, most people like to knit directly off of here, off of your extra needle. I don't, because I drop stitches when I do that. I always drop stitches when I do that. So basically, for me, it's a matter of preference. I stick them back on my main needles, just so if I lay it down somewhere, I don't have two stitches floating around and falling off. And to fix a cable pattern is a little bit tricky. So I rather rip it out than fix it. So then I'm going to knit the two stitches that I originally pulled off and put back on. And now I have my twist. So there's the twist again. So I've twisted my work, and I'm going to do that every time I come to the front side of my work. And then I'm going to purl my two stitches, my little background stitches. Now here, it's the same type of twist as the first twist, except I knitted a row in here. So basically, I'm going to pull these two stitches off. And I like to poke my work into the work itself. And I'm going to knit these two stitches. And now I'm going to put my two stitches back on the hooks. There are some videos out there that I've seen where people have actually done this without using a cable needle at all. They just let it kind of hang out. And to me, that's a little bit, I don't like it. If your yarn is not, if you're knitting too tight, you're going to drop stitches. If your wool is not where it's going to be like an acrylic wool and it's going to stay where you leave it, like this is not going to stay because I'm twisting. And as you can tell, one stitch has decided to disappear somewhere. So I've got, actually it's still on the hook. So basically let's put these back. And and I almost dropped one, but I didn't drop it, so I got it. So now I'm going to just knit these two stitches as normal to create that twist. On the left. And as you can tell, I didn't knit a stitch in between. So basically this has now become this, and you can tell, you can actually change this as you go. You can knit two together, not knit two together. You can knit a row, not knit a row, twist a row, not twist a row. It's all up to you. Now I'm going to purl these next stitches, next two stitches, and I'm going to actually switch the direction of my twist. So these were twisted to the left. Now these are going to twist to the right. So basically all I'm going to do is, now I don't need this stitch, these two stitches to be the ones that twist to the left. I want them to twist to the left behind the work, which brings these two stitches forward, creating the right twist. So now I'm going to knit those two. And then I'm going to put these back on the needle because, yep, I feel more comfortable that way. And then I'm going to knit these two. And then I'm going to purl across the whole entire thing. So, well, I'm not going to purl across the whole thing. I'm going to purl the purl stitches and knit the knit stitches. And you can tell which ones those are because when you flip it over, this is the reverse side. So you can see the 4 purls here, 2 knits here, 4 purls here, 2 knits here, 4 purls here, and 2 knits here. So that's exactly what I was going to do, is purl 4, knit 2, purl 4, knit 2, purl 4, knit 2. And that creates, that helps finish off the twist so it doesn't look like it's like bunched up. And if you're a tight knitter with cables, you're going to have a more difficult time with them because your yarn is not, depending on what type of yarn you're using, your yarn may not give enough and be like super, super tight. So loosen up on your knitting, or use one size knitting needle bigger than the one that you're currently using. That way your twist will become more comfortable for you. But as you get used to doing this, it'll come much more easier for you and more comfortable for you. But as you can tell, it is very nice. Makes nice decorations for sweaters. It's great for socks, great for mittens, hats, scarves, anything you can knit, you can put a cable pattern on. Again, they're great. It just takes a little bit more time to do that stitch, but it's not something that should be avoided because you're like, oh my God, cables. No, they're very easy to do. You just got to get the hang of it. Remember, all you beginners out there, oh my God, I can't knit. But you're knitting. You got used to the knit stitch. You got used to the purl stitch. You'll get used to the cable stitch too. And then you'll be using it everywhere. So please like and subscribe and let me know what you want to see. Let me know if you got any questions. Please make comments below. Suggestions. Happy knitting.